everyone, this is Tia Torres, and yes, we are back again with yet another episode of Wild Instincts. For those that have been following this podcast, I know it's been a little minute. I apologize for the ghost disappearing act. Had some stuff going on. For those that are just joining, you may want to go back and listen to the rest, because it's an ongoing story. So, and going back through my notes and remembering some of the things that I went through while I was working on the Jungle Book, I forgot to tell you some of the most adorable stories about the most adorable animal that was with me, and that was my pit bull, Tatanka. I mean, she almost got me arrested. She held up an entire manifest of, a flying Noah's Ark because the local natives thought she was a baby bear. But while living in Sri Lanka, we did have some fun. And, she had the most amazing temperament. She was very gentle. She was quiet. She was kind. She brought a sense of security and calmness to the other animals. Well, mainly my wolf dogs, because, they were somewhat familiar with her. But one of the black leopards, Shadow, fell in love with her. And there were some of the cutest times where, I would be looking for her because we had like an animal compound. They built us a kind of a makeshift animal compound. And I'd be looking for her. And there she is, asleep next to Shadow's enclosure, his cage. And there's like a space under the fencing so that when you're hosing out like the poop or whatnot, it can go through. But it was big enough for Shadow to stick his paw through there. And, if he could have been a dog, he probably would have been like another Tatanka. I mean, he was a black leopard, but he was so sweet and so gentle. And there he would be falling asleep in the sun, and his paw was stuck underneath the cage, and he was just like patting the top of Tatanka's head while she was asleep. You know how cats do, like they're like, what is that, like kneading bread or making dough, something like that, where their little claw things go in and out. Yeah, he was just like touching her head so gently. It was the cutest thing. As a matter of fact, and I don't know if I told you this story already, but there was a scene where the kid playing Mowgli had to sit next to the character Bagheera, who's like the black leopard in the Jungle Book, and they wanted this shot from behind where Mowgli has got like his arm around Bagheera, and they're just looking off this cliff into the sunset. Well, I don't care how good a black leopard is, you're not going to put like an 8-year-old child next to him, So a local seamstress made Tatanka a costume. Probably shouldn't be giving this away, the secret away. And they made her look like a black leopard from behind. So she got to be Bagheera in one of the scenes. It was pretty cute. I don't know if it made it or they edited it out, but I remember filming it. It was pretty fun. And then there was a time we were walking through town, or the city, I guess you could call it, and this group of Buddhist monks came walking through. And again, I have to remind everybody, dogs in Sri Lanka, I would say, I don't know that I saw a stray dog or a dog on the street that did not have mange. And I mean, the entire body was covered in mange. So they weren't used to seeing dogs that looked like Tatanka, that had hair, that had color to them. So when I walked her around, people would just stop and look and go, what is that? What kind of an animal is that? So when this group of Buddhist monks was coming through and they saw her, they kept, they motioned for me to stop so they could pet her. And it was the cutest thing because while we were in Sri Lanka, I believe it was Barbara. She was the elephant handler. She nicknamed Tatanka Chunky Monkey. That's what she nicknamed her. And when we got a picture of Tatanka with the Buddhist monks, I remember us just laughing, going, "Oh my God, they're like starting a new band, Chunky Monkey and the Monks." So it became a thing. We always talked about that. But I think one of my most endearing moments, there was way more. What am I talking about? Is that Tatanka was so good with every animal she met. I had found a baby crow. Now, they didn't have ravens in Sri Lanka. They had crows. And when I lived in California, I was actually a rehabber for ravens. So I was very familiar with them. I loved them. And hey, a crow is the next best thing. Found a baby crow and, nursed it to health, named him Boogie Woogie. She became so attached to Tatanka. I'm talking, I would put Boogie Woogie on Tatanka's back, and Boogie Woogie would hang onto Tatanka's collar with his claws. And I could just walk them around like that. Like it was the sweetest thing ever. Tatanka and I would be laying on the bed in the hotel room just watching, TV, and Boogie Woogie would just come flying across the room and land on the bed with us. So Tatanka didn't have any ears. They were cut off to her skull. So they were like little holes in her head. Well, Boogie Woogie loved taking his beak and cleaning the inside of Tatanka's ears. She let him. It was the cutest thing ever. That's how good that dog was. She took care of some baby monkeys that one of the locals unfortunately captured and tried to sell them to us. And of course, at that point, it was, they didn't know where the mother was. They just managed to capture these baby monkeys and brought them in a bag. And so we took them on, and they were in my room. And they would cling to Tatanka like it was their long-lost mommy. She was a very, very special dog. And, there's that saying, you don't know what you had until it's gone. And I think back to that, and I'm like, wow, she was one of a kind. She just loved everybody. And I keep saying that, but she truly did. There was something so peaceful about her. And I was just very fortunate to have been allowed in her world. But yeah, she really, as calm as she was, she brought excitement into my life just based on her breed. Now, thankfully, getting home was a lot easier because we had to go home the same way. And we did land in Amsterdam again, and I did have to stay at a hotel overnight. So this time we got smart. We made sure that there was a driver hired by production to pick us up and take me straight to a hotel so that I would not get into any trouble with her. But yeah, she ended up going to Costa Rica with me after that because I was then hired to film the Jungle Book TV series. So she went to Costa Rica with me. She was such a great dog. Just, God, a one of a kind. I haven't had another one, like her since then. And for those that don't know, I got her name from the movie Dances with Wolves. The scene when Kevin Costner runs into the Native American guy, and he puts his hands up to his head like pointing like horns, and he goes Tatanka, and then he points, and he means the buffalo. And I don't know what type of tribe that language or that word came from, but he's telling Kevin Costner's character that Tatanka is a buffalo, and that's what she reminded us of. This little brown buffalo. If only the good ones could stay around forever, right? Mm. I probably shouldn't be recording this episode today because I'm still emotional about losing my coonhound Jethro the other day. Not to change the topic, but after Tatanka, Duke became my next really, truly personal dog. And then nothing for years. And then I moved to Louisiana, and then it became Lucky. Lucky was my heart dog. And then Jethro, my blue tick coonhound. I mean, sure, I have other dogs, but those 4 dogs, they were the real deal for me. And oh boy, that's the nervous cough, the one that says I don't want to cry. Okay, no, we're not doing this today. All right, guys. Well, thanks for joining me, and we will see you on the next Wild Instincts. And remember, just stay true to yourself, even if that means just being a little bit too wild.